He's such a brilliant mind, such a brilliant business mind, so analytical, so wicked smart, such a tactician. But he's also just so practical and humble. And it's just such a rare combination. They're definitely, they threw away the mold with Wendell. You can't help, and I'm sure you've heard it before, there have to be other comparisons out there to Warren Buffett, and that almost would be a disservice to Wendell, because perhaps Warren should be maybe the Wendell Starke of the Midwest. And if Warren is the Oracle of Omaha, then maybe Wendell is the sage of the South.
Growing up as Wendell Starke's granddaughter, of course, was just such a blessing for me. It really wasn't until I was in college, though, that I knew that my grandfather was Wendell Starke. And I'm so grateful for that. You know, he, of course, had some incredible accomplishments in his career. But when he was around us for family events and, you know, for our weekend movie days that we would all go and enjoy together, he was just granddad, and he was just dad. And I think that says so much about him and his priorities in life. Of course, his career was hugely important to him, and he was wildly successful in that. But his family and his community really meant the world to him.
I first met Wendell Starke in 1991 in a little Chinese restaurant in Twin Falls, Idaho. I never could have imagined the journey that I was about to go on and the effects it would have on me personally and on the community. After Wendell's family, Wendell's other true love is the business of business development. Over the 30 years, I was privileged to be involved in many ventures that were always conducted with the utmost professionalism and the utmost integrity.
I'm so lucky to call Wendell a friend and business partner and mentor. I remember first learning about Wendell through some of his real estate successes in North Georgia, and had no idea at the time there was so much more to him, including the investment banking career, Invesco, and many other businesses. I'm sure I don't even begin to fully grasp everything to which he's contributed. But I always just remember loving so much of all the places he and Lydia could have lived. They picked Gainesville in North Georgia.
When you sit and talk with Wendell, it's hard not to be impressed by all of his vast experience and knowledge. And he always had a little third-party story to tell that started with, "I have a friend that." And when you heard that, you knew a teaching moment was about to occur. And you would be well served to listen.
I guess it was my great fortune to have shown up at the CNS Bank in 1970, right out of business school. And that's when I first met my new boss, Invesco's, Wendell Starke. Wendell was then head of the investment research for the bank's trust department. And little did I know, when we began that journey, which lasted over 50 years, that this small Southern regional bank investment department would one day become this giant investment management company called Invesco, with offices all over the world. You know, there are a lot of investment giants out there that you read and hear about every day. Typically, you find them on TV or in the newspaper. You won't find Wendell there. He just didn't have that kind of ego, and he was never again self-serving or self-seeking. But in my mind, he stood with the best of them. His investment acumen was second to none. And it goes beyond that, because Wendell not only was a brilliant investment person, he is also a very successful and outstanding businessman as well.
I remember taking a business idea to him, and I'm so thankful. I was probably just a little too young to know exactly what I was doing, or I probably would have had the guts to do it. But thankfully I did, and he was open-minded and listened, and we ended up meeting over the course of any number of meetings and months, and he agreed to enter into business with me and supported me. Almost all those meetings were at McDonald's, which was just so great.
So Wendell Starke has this fascinating predilection for fast food restaurants. When he comes to the market, he always wants to go to lunch. Usually it's with me first, and at other times it's with our key employees. He wants to make sure he stays connected with everybody in the building. Wendell always has to pay. He always lets me order first, and then he steps up to the counter to pay, and he'll say something like, "I need to buy my grandfather a meal," or, my favorite, "I picked this gentleman up out in the parking lot and he needs a meal today." That's Wendell Starke. That's how he introduces his manager in radio in Boise, Idaho, and I love every minute of it.
Wendell knew about my technology before I was aware of it, frankly, and he was our first angel investor in the company. Most investors bring capital. That's hugely important, and you can't build a company without it, but it's just one piece of the puzzle. If you're lucky, you have a few investors whose experience can lend advice that helps you move the enterprise forward. Wendell brought both, but he also brought something even rarer. He had true honesty in his heart. He believed in me. He believed in the team. And when your back is up against the wall, which is not infrequent when you're doing a 22-year journey that we've been on, and you're trying to figure out how to survive, being able to sleep at night, have a clear head, because you know you can count on someone like that, like Wendell, is absolutely priceless.
Wendell's one of the few people that gauges his success by the success of others. Whenever he got involved in a project, you could always be assured that when he left, the people and the project were much better than when he arrived.
With Wendell, he enables people to be better. He enables you to feel better about yourself. He enables you to do things that you didn't think you could do before. When he comes in contact with people is one of those that when he walks through the room, everything seems a bit brighter, a bit lighter. He always has a smile on his face, and he's genuinely very happy to see you. Wendell treats everybody like they're his best friend, and it's fantastic how he makes you feel as a human being.
He's one of the best people I've ever known, and I think he's one of the just great people.
I think really the bottom line is just he leaves every community better than he found it. And I think that's a wonderful goal for everybody to have in life.